Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Don Crowley here, Teagasc, West Cork, Clonakilty. I'm a dairy advisor specialising in dairy milk quality, and the purpose today is a quick checklist on getting ready for the winter housing. Every farmer can do their own self-assessment and their own housing itinerary, which is on the Animal Health Ireland website. How clean are your cows? We'll start here with the scrapers. Make sure they're serviced, especially scrapers that have been idle. Make sure they're clean and make sure there's no dry dirt in underneath them. They really impact how smooth and how quickly that they will run. The other thing is look at the box and check the timing settings. They need to be set to be running for 8 times a day, minimum 6, but ideally 8 times, that's every 3 hours. So check that the clock is working and that it's set at automatic and not manual. One thing inside the house is having adequate amount of drinking tracks with clean, fresh drinking water for cows, especially freshly calved. So you can see in this track here, very good track, precision drilled, but the problems are bird droppings are able to get into it, which is most tracks, but it's difficult to open, it's rigid, so it's difficult to open so as to clean, and these need to be cleaned out every day, whereas the flip over track, you'll be able to flip it over, clean the bridge that's there, and have fresh water then every day. When it's simple, it will be done. Something you should really invest in. So when we come into a cubicle house, the first thing we'd like to see, lads, is a cleaned, if you can get the chance between now and housing, which is going to be tight, get them cleaned and power hosed. The second thing we look at is when you go into a shed, it's great to see cows either lying down or standing up on all fours on the cube. It's a very good sign of the design of the cubicle house, rather than 2 up and 2 down. So they're able to stand on the rubber and take the weight off their feet. Brisket boards are very good, as you see with the cow lying down, how it's placed are exactly right on the cubicle. And because this bar isn't too far forward, it's allowing the cow to stand on all fours as shown in the video in the cubicles. So your brisket board 1.7 metres from the back edge of the cubicle for a 580 kilo cow. Plus 2 other things to look at is just the grooving of the floors. If they're very slippery, you might get a chance to groove them before the housing period starts. It just gives the cows a lot more confidence inside here and there's less light for injuries. The second thing, especially for winter milk herds or if you're milking through the winter, putting a retaining bar at the back here that can fold over to stop cows going up on cubicles after being milked. It's ideal to let them stand here for, say, 30 minutes to an hour before you allow them back to cubicles to allow the teat sphincter to close after milking. Very important for winter milking herds. Priming cubicles is very important. So milking cows is want to be done twice a day. For dry cows once a day. So we're here in the calving pen, which is a straw bedded area. Ideally you're looking for 1 calving pen for every 25 cows. You're looking at the drinking track space to ensure that there's a drinking track per pen and there is clean water there for freshly calved cows because they have a big appetite for clean water. I suppose you're looking then how easily can the sheds be cleaned out? Can they be cleaned out? Can they be freshly bedded daily, weekly or every second day? And that impacts on the stocking rate and the throughput inside the house. Your kneel test, when you kneel down, as the bed's nice and dry and is it for calving and that cows are comfortable and mitigate against any mastitis.